The 7-game journey out east begins in the city of brotherly love. We get you set for the Oilers and the Flyers right here on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show, live on location, Boston Pizza, Clairview. Hello, everybody. Good evening. Tom Gazzola with you inside the lounge at BP Clairview. We got Benny Thomson back at EST Global HQ on the city's west end. We're preempting the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. The guys will be back to wrap things up at 5:30. But in the meantime, we'll get you set for tonight's action down in Philly. Matt Kassian, our game analyst, will be by in about 5 or 6 minutes. Of course, you can text us 780-218-9999. Get into the nasty chat as well. If you're watching over on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button. You know we appreciate it as always. Of course, GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. Benny Thomson, how are we doing tonight, pal?
Great. I'm great, Tom. You know, it's I'm excited. I'm excited to see what we got for this 7-game road trip coming. You know, it was quite the game Monday night, and I guess we'll see how they carry on it, and we'll I don't know. We'll see if this season's kind of turned around or if it's the same old. I guess we'll find out tonight.
Listen, man, I want to see something turn around. I want to see some positivity. I think that would be great. I think it would help the fan base, but I don't have a lot of faith in that actually happening. I'm kind of like, ugh. It's going to be more of the same. They really haven't shown us a lot of life in this season. I mean, just for the third time this year, they get more than 3 goals in a game, and they pop off for 5 in a 5-4 win over the Columbus Blue Jackets. I mean, if you get the job done, but it wasn't pretty. You get booed off the ice in the second period. It wasn't pretty. You know, you got your asses kicked 9-1 on Saturday. That was just straight up ugly. So I don't know, man. And the funny thing is that with this team and the era of McDavid and Draisaitl, you get a read on them, and you think you got them figured out. And then the next thing you know, they do the total opposite. That's why I'm just like, well, this team, you know, they just don't have the jam and the moxie this year. They haven't proven it through 17 games. They haven't won more than 2 games in a row this year, Benny.
No.
But they could go and just steamroll the next 7 games. Like, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. But they just have this knack for doing stuff that you're like, where the hell was that? Yeah. Where was that for the first month and a half? You know? So it's just, they're one of those teams. It's just like, yeah, I don't know. Well, they're capable of way better. They're playing like ass. And, well, we don't roll the dice, see what you get, because that's about a sharp or dialed in way you could peg them. Like they're just like, whatever. This team, Jekyll and Hyde.
They are.
Yeah, I have no clue what they're gonna do. Is that fair?
No. Yeah. I think anyone thinking the other way around, there's just no reason to. Like, you have it right. Like it seems like right now it's just like, you have no idea what you're getting out of them night by night basis, and I don't know. I guess once again we'll see if Philly's a team that they steamroll tonight and it rolls into a good road trip. But I mean, it's a tough one, Tom. This is a tough road trip they have coming up with a hard schedule. And I mean, even when the schedule came out, you pinpoint this road trip, go, that's a tough one. So yeah, I don't know. It's tough. It's tough to say that they're going to do well on this trip, but once again, it's the Oilers. You never really know.
Touche, Benny. Touche. All right. Before Cass hops on here, I need to remind folks they got the holiday playlist that's happening here at Boston Pizza, participating Boston Pizza locations, and lots of vodka sauce in the holiday playlist. It's really good. I did have the stuffed crust matzo sticks with Dusty on Monday. We did have the pepperoni stinger pizza with the hot honey. Yep. On top, very, very good. We had the prosciutto and mushroom pizza. That was also awesome. They do the rib and wing duo. It's a half rack of their slow-cooked pork back ribs, fire oven roasted or fried chicken wings, tossed in your choice of sauce. And then they also do, I like the crispy chicken vodka penne. I saved that for last because I did have that as well. Delicious. They have a garlic shrimp mac and cheese as well, Ben. I'm allergic to shellfish.
Okay.
And I don't do a lot of Listen, I just don't do seafood.
Me too.
But that would probably be good for the seafood lovers out there. It doesn't sit well with Tommy. It makes my throat get like all basically clammed up, and I just I can't breathe. I make that noise. Particularly great. All right, Lisa and Jason from BP Clairview wanted me to remind everyone that they're doing Pizza for Ben starting November 18th to November 22nd at participating Boston Pizza locations. BP Clairview obviously taking part. They get behind a lot of great causes. And so $1 from every kid's pizza, $2 from every indie pizza, $3 from every small pizza, $4 from every medium pizza, and $5 from every large pizza will be donated to the Ben Stelter Foundation between November 18th and November 22nd. Absolutely tremendous cause. So many locations are hopping on board with this. I don't know why there would be a few that don't, but we know the boys at Westgate, 170th and 90th Ave, Tony and Curtis, they're hopping on board with this. Lisa and Jason here at BP Clairview as well. So starting on the 18th until the 22nd, it's Pizza for Ben. $1 from every kid's pizza, $2 from every indie pizza, $3 from every small, $4 from every medium, and $5 from every large goes to the Ben Stelter Foundation. Love it, Benny. Absolutely love it. I think that's a great cause. So there you go. Also, I saw Mo. I think Mo and his wife are here. They're sitting right behind me. Come on down to BP Clairview. We have some prizes for tonight that we're going to be giving away. You get a beverage, you get a ticket for every beverage that you get, and then we'll do draws. I saw the prizes. There's going to be a nice like Molson Coors prize pack. I think there's like a beer glass in there with a nice T-shirt and a Oilers toque. One men's, one women's. I saw, and then Lisa and Jason also have a pair of tickets to give away to an Oilers game as the grand prize draw for tonight. So come on down, Boston Pizza Clairview in the lounge. It's beautiful in here. They have the mood lighting with the orange around the 170-inch screen, which is absolutely amazing. You got to see this thing. It is phenomenal. Jay Milne's like, Tommy, gotta send me a picture of that thing. I sent it to Jay, and he just wrote back, wow. Yeah, that thing's absolutely huge. So we're going to have a good time. Come on down, hang out, and enjoy some of the great daily specials, as well as the holiday playlist, which is now available. Lots of vodka sauce. That's good stuff. And then Pizza for Ben starting on the 18th. All right, before Cass hops on here, let's get to some business here, Benny. We're going to take a look at some lineups, and then we'll get you your injury report, and then we'll get to a few texts before we bring in Cass. So the Oil 7-6-4 after that win against Columbus on Monday. The Flyers 8-5-2. Here's what we're anticipating from the Oil and how they skated. McDavid with Savoy and Mangiapane on their off wings. Draisaitl with Podkolzin and Roslovic. That line, pretty consistent. They've been pretty good, and it's nice to see Chris Knobloch kind of sticking with some lines finally, because it's obviously been more or less a month of just getting the bingo balls out and switching things up game to game, period to period. I mean, we joke about it, but it's true because they kept doing it, and Knobloch kept going to the old mixer there. So Henrique between Howard and Frederick, and then you got Noah Philp with Matthias Janmark and Curtis Lazar. On defense tonight, Ekholm with Bouchard, Nurse spread up with Wallman, and then Kulak with Emerson. Out for the Oil, Stetcher, Regula, and Tomaszek. As for the Philadelphia Flyers, here's what we're expecting from them tonight. Sean Couturier with Trevor Zegras and Matvei Michkov. Noah Cates between Tyson Forster and Bobby Brink. Christian Dvorak with Owen Tippett and Travis Konechny. Rodrigo Abels between Nicholas Deslauriers and Garnet Hathaway. Cam York with Travis Sanheim. Nick Seeler paired up with Jamie Drysdale. Emil Andre with Noah Juleson. No Nikita Grabenkin. No Adam Ginning. No Igor Zamula. And no Carl Grunstrom for Philly tonight. That brings us to your starting goalies for the Oilers. The 27-year-old Stu Skinner, 5-4-3 this season, 291 goals against average, 884 save percentage, one shutout in 12 games this season, 3-1 in run record, lifetime versus Philly, 257 goals against average, 919 save percentage in the 5 appearances versus the Flyers. And at the other end of the rink, it will be 28-year-old Dan Vladar, 6-3 this season, 218 goals against average, 917 save percentage in the 9 games Vladar has played in. He is lifetime versus the Oil, 3-2 with a 242 GAA, 920 save percentage in 5 games versus Edmonton over the course of his career. That takes us to the Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy Injury Report. Connor McDavid's got a team of specialists. You've got a bag of frozen peas. Get the same locker room approach trusted by the best in the game at Advantage Sport Medicine. Book your assessment today, www.advantagesportmed.ca, or call 780-460-9977. For the Oilers, Zach Hyman not going to play today, not expected to play tomorrow, but Chris Knobloch did indicate that we could see him by Saturday in Carolina. Kasperi Kapanen, he is on LTIR with a knee issue. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, IR undisclosed. As for the Flyers, Oliver Bonk, yes, son of Radek, IR upper body, and Rasmus Ristolainen, IR triceps. That is your Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy Injury Report. Check them out, www.advantagesportmed.ca, or call 780-460-9977. I've got this thing in my neck, Benny. Got this thing in my neck, down in my shoulder.
Do. Got something.
Simon Bennett take a...
Yeah, got something going on.
I'm an active man, and I'm old.
Good.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, I might have to go and see the crew at Advantage Sport Medicine to get that thing fixed. You know, I was talking to Simon Bennett at the gym, and he's like, "You got this in your shoulder, and it's affecting your see this and see that in your neck." He's like, "You got to go get physio." I'm like, Advantage Sport Medicine. He goes, "Yeah, they're great. So go check them out if you need some help." All right, 780-218-9999. Get to the nasty chat. A couple of texts as we get set to welcome in Matt Kassian. Coach Mike says, expectation for the road trip. It's tough to predict right now. Coach Mike, you nailed it, buddy, as we welcome Cass in. Hello, Matt Kassian. How are you doing, buddy?
I am good. I am very good. I actually got to take in the game from a low vantage position against the Columbus Blue Jackets, which is a lot of fun. Was able to go with a buddy and let Belsey handle the heavy lifting of what I thought was going to be another horror story. I was like, man, I'm kind of glad Belsey's going to be doing this one. And then I was like, I'm a little bit jealous because they pulled it out of nowhere.
Barely,
but they did. They got it done.
Barely.
Yeah, I'm good. There's so many interesting storylines heading into this road trip for the Oilers. So many interesting storylines. So I am very intrigued by how this game plays out tonight. Very intrigued. Like this is going to be a fun one. Hopefully fun one. Maybe not from an offensive standpoint, but at least a telling game for the Edmonton Oilers for us to watch.
Cass, Coach Mike sent that text into the inbox, said expectations for the road trip. Like off the top of this show, I said, you expect or you figure this team is going to do one thing, but in the McDavid-Draisaitl era, you know, you think that you got a good grasp on them, and then they go and do the exact opposite. You know, it's just it's hard to get a read on these guys. So what would your expectation be for this road trip? A 7-gamer through some tough cities out east, some cities that have teams that aren't particularly strong, but haven't been particularly kind to Edmonton in recent years either. What do you expect?
I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I mean, it's cheating, but can we have tonight to see like what Edmonton Oilers we're going to see out there on the ice? Like they've just been so all over the place, and not just game to game, but period to period and shift to shift. Like there's just the consistency has been not completely non-existent, but pretty close to non-existent, guys. Like I don't know. I don't know. Like you're playing some very good teams like Carolina, where it very easily could turn into a Colorado type night if you let that game go. And then you're playing games like, I mean, Florida's not playing great right now. Columbus has been struggling a little bit, and you did beat them. Washington has been okay, and Buffalo's starting to turn their game around a little bit, but like it's so hard for me to know exactly what this team is going to put out on the ice in terms of their play. Like, guys, it's hard to know. So what's my expectation? I just expect to not have any idea of what team we're going to see, because we haven't seen a consistently good team for more than 2 games in a row at this. Actually, not even more. We haven't seen a consistently good team for more than 1 game in a row. And if they play well today, guess what? They didn't even play great for the entirety of the game against Columbus. So I don't know. I don't know. This team just confuses at every turn.
It's a head scratcher.
It is. I want to be
Go
like,
ahead.
this is what's going to happen. And they've been playing this and we've been seeing these momentum and they've been doing this and executing this really well. But I can't because I'd just be making it up.
Amen. Seriously. I don't know what team shows up tonight. Beats me. I mean, you heard them get booed off the ice in the second period on Monday after a pretty strong first period. Like, it just, I don't know. It's the shrug emoji. That's what the Edmonton Oilers are right now. Let's go to Ryan from Sask before we dive into game changes with our game analyst, Matt Kassian. Ryan from Sask says 3 things for tonight. 1, cleaner zone exits. Activate the weak side D and start using the middle of the ice in transition again. 2, find a way to get emotionally invested. Hit someone. 3, coaching staff needs to get more guys involved. This isn't basketball. That's from Ryan from Sask. If you want to share your thoughts, hit us up, 780-218-9999. Get to the nasty chat as well as we slide into Game Changers with our game analyst, Matt Kassian. Game Changers, as always, brought to you by Damon Bunting Real Estate. Damon Bunting, consistent top-producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 18 years. He's community-driven and understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, damonbunting.com, or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. Cast numero uno for tonight, Boosh benching. Finally.
And lo and behold, he was really solid after the benching. Now, what finally gets him is the retaliatory penalty. Oilers had actually been pretty good up until that point in that game. Like they were solid. Now they weren't fantastic, but it's like they were solid. And then Bush takes a completely unnecessary retaliatory penalty right in front of the refs, and he gets sat. And lo and behold, he was really solid the rest of the night. Played a very clean game from that point on. I did not notice any mistakes. And again, I didn't watch every single shift from going back and watching all of Bouchard's shift. But from my observation, I did not see any major mistakes. Certainly not any grade A turnovers in front of their own net. Now, some of the Oilers, the rest of the guys, they contributed, they helped. But for Evan Bouchard, he had a really good response to the benching. And I'm hoping that's a wake-up call for him here. Now, he's been struggling. Call it confidence, call it apathy, call it whatever you want as a fan or a person in the media. He has to be better. And a little bit of a reset button there, maybe emotionally, maybe mentally. I'm hoping that his ability to respond in that game and little things like getting an assist on the McDavid goal, like McDavid pointing back at him, like encouraging him, lifting him up a little bit, being like, yeah, you got this. You're good. You're good. I'm hoping that snaps him out of it. Cause guys, he again was really, really solid. And if Evan Bouchard can give us that Bouchard, the Bouchard that we saw after the benching against the Columbus Blue Jackets, that's when Evan Bouchard is worth every penny of the money he's getting paid. But so far this season, that's really, if I think about it, like that's the first time all season where I've watched a couple periods of Evan Bouchard and went like, yeah, he looked really good. He looked really good. So a big bounce back game, or a continuation of a little bit of a bounce back game for Evan Bouchard after that penalty, guys. Let's see how well he continues to turn this thing around, because if Evan Bouchard is really good, not just for your offense, not just for your defense, but just your team as a whole, like that's just such an important spot. So guys, if Evan Bouchard is like, he'll make Ekholm much, much better, and you'll see improvement up and down the rest of the pairings. You will see defensively just a massive improvement if Evan Bouchard's there. So guys, let's hope that bounce continues for Evan Bouchard.
Evan Bouchard the other night, Cass, an assist, like you alluded to, getting the point from McDavid, +1, 2 penalty minutes, got the benching, 1951 time on ice. He had 3 block shots, 1 hit, 1 giveaway, and 2 takeaways. That is his stat line from the 5-4 OT win over the Columbus Blue Jackets. And Cass had nice low seats. Where were you sitting the other night, Cass, that you had such a nice vantage point?
Low. It's not too low. No. It was like the alumni do a bunch of seats, so it's a good section. It's a good spot.
Yeah, that's lucky. As we go into point number 2 here on Game Changers, brought to you as always by Damon Bunting Real Estate. Numero 2 in Philly's kitchen. What do you mean, Cass?
Well, this is a Rick Tocchet team, guys. through and through. A team that's going to grind you, a team that's going to try to clog up the middle of the ice, a team that's going to collapse down in the front of the net, a team that's going to battle, a team that's going to just try to be greasy in everything they do. I mean, that's a Rick Tocchet team. And he seems to have found an ability here outside of Vancouver to have players that are more willing to buy into that style on a more consistent basis so far this season. And so for the Philadelphia Flyers, they will be working very hard to protect the middle of the ice. And for the Edmonton Oilers, you have to do a good job of getting to their kitchen, of getting to that front of the net, because guys, they don't give up that much. And offensively, Edmonton has really struggled to find those secondary opportunities around the net. They've struggled to shoot it from the house when they have had some opportunities. And I look at this and go, this is the type of team that right now Edmonton really could struggle against. They really could, because of how Philly clogs it up. They don't really give you much of anything. If we look at goals against, I think they're league leading right now at 39, tied with Washington for 39 goals against. Like they don't give up very much. And that goes for when they're on the penalty kill too. Like they are committed to playing a heavy defense. And for the Edmonton Oilers, they've kind of struggled against that this year, particularly 5-on-5. Now, power play has been humming along. 5-on-5, they've struggled. If you want anything to do with scoring goals on these Philadelphia Flyers right now, you have to find ways to get to the front of the net. Now, I'm looking at like a Mangiapane. I'm looking at a Frederick. I'm looking at, Savoy, I think, has actually done a decent job of getting there. It just hasn't quite been able to find a way to put the puck in the net recently. But the players that are going to be any kind of, not just physical players, but your players that aren't McDavid and Draisaitl. Really, let's just say everyone aside from those two has to find a way to get to that front of the net tonight and to try to find secondary opportunities, because Philly is not going to give you any freebies. They are not. You are going to have to earn them, and you could have to earn them by eating a little bit of stick around the net.
Benny, before we slide this over to you, just really quickly what Cass was talking about, the Flyers only give up 2.6 goals against per game. That is fifth best heading into action tonight. And then they only score guys 2.67. So they're a low scoring, low opportunity and goals against team. So, I mean, I'd like to see the over in this one. I think, we're going to get to the game day odds check a little bit later, but they have it at 5.5 and they had the under because the Oilers, like we just said earlier in the show, barely score over 3 goals per game. But Benny, when Cass says it's going to be hard for the Oilers to get some goals and they're going to have to work for their goals, does that alarm you from an Oilers stat boy? Because they really don't dig in and play that type of hockey. At least they haven't so far this year. They
don't. And to me, that's a Rick Tocchet team. You know what I mean? Like, that's the type of coach I think Rick Tocchet likes to, that's the system he likes to imply on his teams, is he does not give anything easy to the opponent, no matter the skill level of his own team that he's coaching. And let's face it, the Flyers aren't the most skilled team in the NHL. And they know that, I think. So they're going to play a hard way to try to stop their opponents from racking up goals. And you saw that in the goals against average. I pointed it out on the postgame show on Monday. I think the Oilers' biggest struggles right now is the fact that they don't have a whole lot of a net front presence. And obviously that is missed with Zach Hyman, and you lost Corey Perry and Evander Kane the offseason that were both very good at doing that job. Trent Frederick has struggled to do that this year, and like Cass was saying, Mangiapane and Sav, they could probably get better, or at least for Savoy, pot in a couple more. But that to me is such a crucial part as to what the Oilers' offensive dry spell has been. Is it's been because the net front presence hasn't been up to par, and the Philadelphia Flyers are a good team at taking away sticks and making it hard for you to score those type of goals. So I don't know if it changes tonight. I will see. Obviously, like this, we don't know what we're getting with the Oilers. We've been talking about this. Like you don't know, but it'd be quite ironic for the Oilers to start playing that net front greasy style of offense against a team that's pretty good at defending that. So I don't know. I'm curious to see tonight, but yeah, I'm with the Cass on that 100%. Like I think that's a huge factor as to what why the Oilers aren't scoring as many goals and what could play a factor in tonight's game.
when you mentioned that the Flyers are a team and the Oilers don't score a lot of net front goals, I think, Cass, you and I both had the same facial expression at that moment when Benny mentioned that. So I thought that was funny. Okay, text us 780-218-9999. Let us know your thoughts heading into this game and this prolonged road trip for the Oilers. 780-218-9999. Get into the nasty chat as well. I'm live on location, Boston Pizza, Clairview. You got Cass with Game Changers. He is at his satellite studios, and then Benny Thomson holding things down back at EST Global HQ. It is Game Changers, brought to you by Damon Bunting Real Estate. Number 1 was Boosh Benching. Number 2, In Philly's Kitchen. Number 3, Cass, the eve of Hyman.
Interesting here, especially with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins out of the lineup, but we're getting closer and closer to Zach Hyman re-entering the orbit of the playing Edmonton Oilers here. He's coming. Now, is it going to be right away? Is it going to be tomorrow? Is it going to be Saturday? We don't know. Most likely Saturday or Monday. Most likely.
Yeah.
But maybe tomorrow. We'll see. But the time is running out for the audition for the rest of the Edmonton Oilers. So we're looking here at Mangiapane. We are looking at a Savoy. We are looking at a Howard, not so much the janitor who is back in there 1-0. Who go figure, right? He's back in the lineup. Tommy loves him, is happy, and the Oilers find a way to win a hockey game. But
didn't even have to sit.
Some of those top guys or guys that have been moonlighting on the top two lines, I'm wanting to see some desperation in their games.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm wanting to see like hey, I'm going to be the guy that stays here, or I'm going to be the guy that gets that look with McDavid and Draisaitl if we go nuclear. And we haven't seen very much of that yet. Like Frederick, and I appreciate tremendously, him dropping the gloves last game. And we can talk about that in a couple minutes.
We will.
Finally does something, which is great. Good for him. But so far, his audition not been up to par. Mangiapane has had little moments where he's been really good, but not consistency to his game, hasn't been up to par. Matt Savoy, correct, I think at times has definitely, absolutely shown he's been there, hasn't quite found a way to finish like you like him to finish around the net. Even that toe save last game where he was kind of walked around, and beautiful little move, just couldn't quite find a way to squeeze that puck through. He can't or hasn't been able to quite find the back of the net. And so we're just starting to look at this and going like, Roslovic has been the only guy that's really cemented himself in a position where it's like, this guy's going to play and he's going to get an opportunity, but the time's just running out. So I'm going to primarily look at Mangiapane more than anybody that I just mentioned. I know I went through a few guys, but he's one where we're looking at this and we're going like, okay, what is he doing to earn and to stay in that spot here? Because Hyman's coming back right away. And he's going to get a chance right away on that top line. Mangiapane right now is probably the guy that's going to get moved. Guess what? Roslovic probably isn't going to get moved. Draisaitl likes playing with Podkolzin. Right now, he's probably not going to get moved. So all of a sudden, you're looking at sliding down the lineup if you're Mangiapane. Now, what hasn't he done? He hasn't found a way to be an annoying pest that is just tenacious. We haven't seen that. We haven't seen him just be a threat and a annoyance around the net. Now, again, we've seen tiny little sparks of it. We've seen little moments of it, but he hasn't consistently found a way to do it. And to go back all the way to some of the first things that you guys were talking about when I got on, and the first things that Benny said, or actually, it wasn't even you guys. It was I think texter Ryan from the Fort, I think it was, that texted in that he was talking about. I think it was number 2 of his 3-point little text sermon that he had. They haven't found a way to play with that emotion and to raise that emotion. And with Hyman coming back right away, guys like Mangiapane have to find a way to bring that emotion. Yeah. Like, you have to find a way to bring that emotion. And they haven't so far. Not that you're going to be like yelling, screaming, fighting every night, doing all that. But like, it hasn't been there enough. But Hyman's coming back soon. Everybody knows it. Everybody's seeing it in practice. I want to see some of those players that are still vying for those minutes, because guess what? Your minutes are going to go down even more. McDavid and Draisaitl's right now, it looks like, aren't going to change. They're going to keep them on the penalty kill. So what are you willing and able to do to try to earn those minutes in advancement of Zach Hyman coming back? And we're just going to have to see what those guys actually give us in terms of emotions and in terms of energy and in terms of jump.
There was some jump. There was some emotion. It dissipated in the second period the other night. The Oilers maybe getting a little bit of that jump and emotion from that Trent Frederick fight, like you alluded to, Cass, and I know you wanted to touch on it, and I think it's appropriate that we ask you about it, because the one thing that stood out to me, like, listen, I know Matthew Olivier is a tough customer, and Frederick stood in there, and he got one in early and then took a bunch, and I did notice the big-time stick taps from the bench. That's one thing that stood out to me right away, and Columbus didn't really stick tap the way the Oilers guys were stick tapping. And what did you make of the scenario, and then how Frederick handled that, and then, the subsequent bump in energy, if you want to call it that, from the Oilers?
Well, there's a couple different things. One, I do think, and we can go back to the Bouchard penalty and killing the momentum, but this was one that did help in the first period from an energy standpoint. And for Frederick, it was like, you have to do something. You haven't been scoring. Your minutes have been dropping. You haven't been overly physical. So it's just like, get in a fight. Do something. Now, from a technical standpoint, he didn't handle that one quite well against the guy that knows how to handle himself. If I was teaching him, and I was sitting actually next to another NHL tough guy in Brant Myers, and so we were sitting and watching the game and chatting through it.
Nobody was messing with that duo in the seats that night.
No, you know what? Brant had his son with him, and he was telling him, he's like, "Yeah, you're going to be okay here tonight, bud. Like, we got you. You're good." My buddy Derek was with us too. If I'm breaking it down technically, he had his left hand, protection hand, nowhere near where it needed to be, and just let Olivier swing free, which you don't want to do. And then he dipped his head, and then he got popped, and then he had to go in defense and just survival mode. With that being said, that technically I was very unimpressed from a fighting standpoint. He showed up. And for this Oilers team that has emotionally been unavailable, that hasn't found ways to find energy, I think that was an important moment. And I think it was important even though the fight didn't go well. And that maybe is telling to me that the fight didn't go well for Trent Frederick. He lost that pretty badly. However, the team was still up. They were still encouraging, and they played with some life after that. And you could feel that in the crowd too. So, anytime guys that do that and step up, particularly in a situation like that, where they're fighting a guy that's probably a little bit out of their weight class, seeing the team rally behind that a little bit is important. And it speaks to me about emotionally a team trying to get there. So I all the kudos to Trent Frederick. If I was talking to him, I'd say seal the elbows, buddy. Like, guy's got a big right hand. Don't hold him on the shoulder because you're letting him go free. Like, close the elbows in and you protect yourself a little bit. But as far as what he was trying to do, I think the message it sent to the rest of the team, I am incredibly behind it and think he did a great job of stepping in.
Well said, Cass. It is Game Changers with our game analyst, Matt Kassian, as we get set for the Oilers and the Philadelphia Flyers, the kickoff to a 7-game road trip. You can text us 780-218-9999. If you're watching on YouTube, get to the Nasty Chat. I'm live on location. Boston Pizza, Clareview. Come on down. Take advantage of some game day specials. There's going to be some prizing as well that's going to be given away, and pair tickets to a game soon, or an upcoming game from the crew here at BP Clareview. All right, I'm going to dip it to the inbox here, Cass, and even Betty. I want to hear from you about this too. Kind of get your thoughts on this. Box Pounder texting in. He says, is the Tomaszek experiment over? Box Pounder, well done. You used like all the accents in his name too. Yeah, a good touch on that one. Maybe it's a copy and paste job. I don't know, but I appreciate that. Thanks. Cheers from Box Pounder. Is the Tomaszek experiment over? Cass or Benny? Let's go to Cass because it is your segment. Then we'll get some follow-up from Benny. Go ahead, Cass.
No. He still could get an opportunity here. He still can be a guy that's in another lineup. So experiment now. So it just depends on what we mean by experiment. Experiment is having him in the top two lines. Yeah, that's probably
that's
over.
A good point.
Most likely isn't going to be there. And I know I said, and I picked before the start of the season that he probably was going to start the season there, and he did. But the reality of him coming in was not, and I think the team's expectations wasn't that he was going to play 20 minutes a night as a forward.
Right.
It was that you're going to provide some depth, maybe have the ability to move up and play some of those minutes, and maybe, just maybe, give you an additional option in front of the net in the power play, much like you could with Corey Perry if Zach Hyman wasn't playing or tired or was out or something like that. So, and he's done that. Now, Roslovic maybe you stepped in and given you a little bit more, but when you signed Tomasek, you didn't know he was going to be there. Like, you didn't know Roslovic was going to be available ultimately and sign with you. So, I don't think the experiment is over, because I don't think it was like a massive experiment to begin with. Like, it's pretty low value in terms of dollars from a contract standpoint. If you had to bury it, you could bury it. So is the experiment over? No, because I don't think it was like a huge experiment to begin with.
Benny, how do you look at this? And what would you say to Box Pounder's question?
Yeah, it's a good point, Cass, for Thomas. Like, I was going to bring this up actually in terms of just role. When you were talking about how with Hyman coming back, the audition for a lot of players is coming to an end, right? Like, it's enough of the, given the chance of this guy or this guy, you have your solidified, first line winger coming back. Minutes are going to get reduced somewhere, right? And so Mangiapane is one of those guys. I wanted to also turn that point into just the roles and the depth, in the bottom six, even the fourth line. Talking about desperation, I thought Curtis Lazar against Columbus showed that he wanted to play in the lineup and showed that he had some value. I thought he was running around hitting guys, starting scrums. He showed he had passion in that game, and I think that's something that with the Oilers going forward, Tomasek on the fourth line, like, what does he do for you? I'm often left questioning that. Then, look what he's doing here in this play. Like, he's not your net front guy. You have Roslovic till Hyman comes back. He doesn't PK. I haven't really checked his face-off numbers, but I don't think he's fantastic in the dot. Like, what purpose is he serving, right? I'm not saying he needs to be pulled out of lineup or sent down or anything. I think he can progress his way into being a solid role player for this team in the future, but I think at least Curtis Lazar showed that, against Columbus, that, okay, like, you can play me 8 minutes a night and I'm going to make an impact on the game. So, yeah, like you said, Cass, I don't think the Tomasek experiment is over, but for sure the top six is over. And I think if things don't start to trend up for Tomasek, I could see them maybe even looking at playing Lazar over Tomasek in certain situations. So, I think that's where he sits right now in the bottom six right now.
48.7 on the dot. Just looked it up for you guys. Cass, do you have anything you want to add to that thought about Tomasek?
No, I think between the two of us, we covered it pretty good.
Okay. Let's go into the inbox. Stupid Peter, one of the best handles in the inbox, says, boys, I'm a little more optimistic about this team than most. I think with Hyman coming back and the addition of Roslovic, you finally have some great wingers for Draisaitl and McDavid. I think the bottom six will come together nicely when they get back to full health. Obviously, the goaltending will always be a question mark until that's addressed. But if the defense can wake up, and I think it can, this team is still very good. Don't sleep on the Oilers. I will blindly follow this team into the depths of hell. They don't call me Stupid Peter for nothing. Thank you for that text, Stupid Peter. Appreciate that. Well done, sir. I don't know. It's funny the way this team, when you think they're one way, they go and do the exact opposite. And they've kind of been that way for a while. All right, Cass, any final thoughts from you heading into this action tonight against the Philadelphia Flyers? Tough place to play, or is it like, because does the crowd get on you? I know they're really into it, and I really enjoy covering games there. It's a good crowd here at BP, Clairview, I'll say. But is it intimidating in Philadelphia when you play there, Cass?
It depends what you mean by intimidating. Like, I loved intimidating crowds. Like, that was more fun to play in front of those crowds. Like, when they're on you, they're booing you, they're yelling at you, they're spitting at you, they're throwing things. Like, it's, for me anyways. Now, maybe some guys are like, I don't like that, but I'm like, I don't know. I kind of enjoy that. Now you spit at me, I'm going to throw a water bottle back at you. I got kicked out for that once.
Where did you do that?
I was in junior, actually. That was in Spokane. Okay. It was walking off the ice. It was after the game, walking off the ice. So I got a gross misconduct after the game, I guess. As we're leaving the ice, the fan dumped beer on me, which was something, and I was still fine. And then he spit, and it's like the spit hit my visor. And I was just turning the corner, so there's like the extra water bottles that were there. So I grabbed one, sprayed him with it, and then threw it at his head. Then I got tackled by the linesman, and taken out.
No way.
Oh yeah, nice little gross misconduct. However, security guards ended up like telling the referee and the linesman afterwards what happened, so they rescinded it. I got it wiped from my record.
Nice.
Yeah, because they were like, yeah, he got spit on, and so it wasn't. Anyways, I've always found the fans like that, like it was fun. And if you're sitting in the penalty box, like interacting with them a little bit is good. There's a guy in the minors, and everyone knew who he was, and he would sit outside the penalty box, and he would just start like yelling at you the entire time you're in there. The entire time you're in there. And so what I started just doing is he would start to yell, and I'd just tell him, I'm like, I'll pray for you, brother, and then just leave it and not say anything. And the guy would like the red face, like just it was enough where he could hear, and then just the beat red face, like just the anger seething out of that was always great. So I don't know, I thrive on that. To me, it's fun. It brings more intensity and energy. The ones I struggled with way more are the ones where it's just like a dead quiet crowd. Like it's like you want it loud, and either loud and angry and hating you, or quiet because you quieted the building, right? Because they were all loud and rambunctious, and it's like you stuck it to the other team, and now they're upset and they're sad. But it's just like the buildings that just like no matter what happens, they're quiet. Those are the ones that suck. But it is a fun building to play in. I know it hasn't been overly kind to the Edmonton Oilers the last number of years, but I don't know. I enjoyed playing there. I thought it was a good building. I liked playing in that rink.
The Oilers in Philadelphia, not great, you guys. Like their all-time record in Philly is bad. I've got it right here. 13. Oh no. Well, no. I had it here. Sorry, I screwed it up. I misread. It's 13, 27, 2-2. So 13 wins, 27 losses, 2 OT losses, and 2 ties. Remember those? All-time at Philly. Yes, they won 2 Stanley Cups against the Flyers in the final, but man, regular season-wise, they have been bad against Philly. In Philly, they've won just 1 of their last 7 visits to Philadelphia, and if you want to track that back even more, 2 of their last 11 visits to Philadelphia is what they've won. And that dates back to March 8th of 2011. They won twice in that span in Philly. They won March 3rd, 2016, and they won March 1st, 2022. Everything else has been a loss at Philly. They have 2 overtime/shootout losses in that time in Philly, but it has not been a kind city to the Edmonton Oilers outside of the Stanley Cup Finals in 85 and 87. So, yeah, but Cass, I mean, you're going in there with Minnesota and you're going in there with Ottawa. A little bit different than an Oilers team that has traditionally struggled in the city of brotherly love. But Cass, who knows? When we expect this team to do one thing, what do we say all day today? They do the exact opposite, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, nice to have you back. Great stuff as always on Game Changers. I look forward to catching up with you on the post-game show.
Thanks, fellas. Look forward to it.
What's for dinner tonight, Cass?
We got a little tacos. It's not Tuesday, but a little tacos for the kids tonight.
That's going to be good stuff. Enjoy the tacos, enjoy the game, and we'll catch up with you on the post-game show. Okay, Cass?
Sounds good, boys.
There you go. There's our game analyst, Matt Kassian, with Game Changers, brought to you by Damon Bunting Real Estate. Damon Bunting, now with the agency. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, get in touch with Damon. He is absolutely tremendous. You can check out his website, damonbunting.com, or visit his Instagram, Damon Bunting Real Estate. All right, keep those texts coming in, 780-218-9999. Get to the nasty chat as well. If you're watching on YouTube, Tom Gazzola, Ben Thomson with you. I'm live on location, Boston Pizza, Clairview. Shout out to everyone that's coming and saying hi. I saw Sarah and Cal. There they are. Shout out to Sarah and Cal who are here. They walked away with some prizes last time they were here. It was a good time. Mo is right behind me, and I think Mo is with his wife. Mo, say hi, Mo. Oh, there he is. There he is. Mo is going to be a daddy next week. Wow. He's very, very close. Yeah, we're very excited. Talked to him on Monday at BP Nemeo, and he was like, oh, yeah, kids on the way. I'm like, whoa, Mo, you're going to be a daddy. Very, very cool. Speaking of kids, one that we all loved and really liked and appreciated when we had him, Ben Stelter. BP's is teaming up with the Ben Stelter Foundation from November 18th to November 22nd. Shout out to Mike and Leah Stelter, Ben's parents. They're absolutely tremendous people. Obviously, the heartache of losing Ben, and then Mike went through his own medical issues, and I think he's doing pretty good now. Last time I caught up with him, he was in good spirits and seemed to be in good shape. BP and the Ben Stelter Foundation from November 18th to 22nd. There's going to be donations to the Ben Stelter Foundation for pizzas sold. So $1 from every kid's pizza, $2 from every individual pizza, $3 from every small, $4 from every medium, and $5 from every large pizza. In those dates, we'll be going to the Ben Stelter Foundation. And then the holiday playlist has now been unveiled, and it is available. It is so good. It's only around for a limited time, obviously. Stuffed crust matzo sticks, crispy chicken vodka penne, rib and wing duo, garlic shrimp mac and cheese, pepperoni stinger pizza. You get that honey hot drizzle on top. So good. And then the prosciutto and mushroom pizza. I will probably be having the crispy chicken vodka penne tonight because that's the kind of guy I am. Benny, you ready to get to the game day odds check?
Let's do it.
All right, I love it. Then I have a couple of texts that I see that we'll get to, and then we'll get to some final thoughts. Do you think we should roll any audio? I know we got the final half hour of the Reid Wilkins Show coming up at 5:30. Is there anything significant, groundbreaking, earth-shattering from the avails today, do you think?
I don't think so. Nothing. I mean, everything they were saying was pretty expected, I'd imagine.
Pretty standard.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's been a good show. We've been cruising along nicely here. We'll maybe forego that, but we have them available if needed. All right, let's get to your game day odds check. Brought to you by Play Alberta. When you play in Alberta, it stays in Alberta, safe and secure. The revenue generated from Play Alberta redirected into Alberta's General Revenue Fund, which is used to support programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. Promo code EST Casino with a $50 deposit gets you a $50 casino bonus. The boys I saw were playing the Play Alberta Casino a little bit today. I won't say who, I won't say what, but they were dabbling, putting a little sprinkle down. Maybe there was a wheel with roulette that was going on. Maybe. And then ESD Sports in the promo code section. That's a $50 deposit, gets you a $50 free bet. I used that one on my Cardinals, on the Dallas Cowboys a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
My Cardinals just shredded them on Monday Night Football. It was bittersweet for me, Ben. Bittersweet.
That was funny. You're like cheering, and then you forgot you were betting on the Cowboys, and then you're like, wait, never mind. No, I'm supposed to cheer against. Yeah, it was pretty funny.
So conflicted. There was a lot of
oh yeah.
Cardinals, oh my God, you did. That's what it was, that Monday night game. Anyway, whatever. If you're betting, use your game sense, of course. Let's go to the money line for tonight. Edmonton, the favorites at -133. Philly at +113. The over-under, like we were talking about earlier, these teams don't really score a ton of goals. Over set at 5.5 at -130. The under is at -102. So get in there, do a little sprinkle. I think I went with the Grand Est parlay today and the Lock Shop Partner parlay. I did not see the Screw It, Let's Do It from
you want me to read
the
it to
boys from ES. Yeah, read it to me. I'm curious because it's like maybe I could still slide it in there.
Sergachev point, Owen Tippett point, and Draisaitl to score +725.
Ooh.
Yeah. I threw $5 on it personally.
Did you? What's the payout there?
5 turns into 41.25.
Maybe I'll sprinkle it. I don't know. I'm tempted now.
A little sprinkle. I'm
Use
also
your game sense.
I'm Ryan Jay's play of the day today too, with Oilers win by 2 or more.
I don't know.
It's a flip of a coin, Tom. It's a flip of a coin.
Flip of the coin. Yeah, exactly. So when I asked Jay about it when we were in the conference room today, and he told me, I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm sprinkling. I'm like, yeah, no, that's you. That's fine. You do you. Let's get to this text. It says, hey, gents, out of the players that the Oilers let move on this summer, who do you think they're missing the most? I would choose Perry. Obviously missing his goal scoring, but I think he was a big presence in the room. Also, how much longer do you think they'll leave Howard on the fourth line before sending him down? Do you want to attack that one, Benny?
Yeah, that's exactly how I'd answer it too. With the who they miss most, I think it's Corey Perry. I think the leadership that he provided, but also just the goal scoring. I mean, this guy's an ageless wonder. In his 40s scoring at the clip that he's at right now. I don't know of anyone that would have predicted that, but here we are. Corey Perry playing really well, got paid in LA, and he's making that contract look pretty good. But with the Howard situation, I could see it as early as when Hyman gets back. You send down Howard because to me it's like a young guy like that. He hasn't played bad. He hasn't costed this team anything necessarily. It's more just you want to make sure he gets ice time, he gets his puck touches, right? And there's the best place for him to get those puck touches and ice time is in Bakersfield. So it doesn't have to clear waivers to go down. It's just the easiest, and it just makes most sense for you always to do that. So I'd imagine when Zach Hyman returns, that it'd be Ike Howard the first to go.
I think that's okay. Well said, Benny. Well said, my friend. I appreciate that. I think he answered it adequately, more than adequately, to be honest. Well done. Thank you for the question. Appreciate that as well. Grumpy Cat says, so lose tonight to set up breaking the 10-year streak next year?
I like it. Well, not really, but it's not a bad thought process.
Right. All right, your lineups for tonight before we wind things down and hand it back over to Reid and Jay for the final half hour of the Reid Wilkins Show. For the Oilers tonight in Philadelphia, you're going to have McDavid with Savoy and Mangiapane, Draisaitl between Podkolzin and Roslovic, Henrique between Howard and Frederick, Noah Philp with Janmark and Lazar. On defense, Ekholm with Bouchard, Nurse with Wallman, Kulak with Emerson. For the Flyers, Sean Couturier with Trevor Zegras and Matvei Michkov. Noah Cates centering Tyson Forster and Bobby Brink. Christian Dvorak centering Owen Tippett and Travis Konechny. Nicholas Deslauriers and Garnet Hathaway flanking Rodrigo Abels. And then on defense, Cam York with Travis Sanheim, Nick Seeler with Jamie Drysdale, Emil Andre paired up with Noah Juleson. Your goalies for tonight, Stuart Skinner for the Oil. He is 3-1-1 lifetime versus Philly, .257 goals against average, .919 save percentage, and 5 appearances versus the Flyers. Then at the other end of the rink, it's 28-year-old Dan Vladar, 3-2 lifetime versus the Oil, 3-2, pardon me, .242 GAA, .920 save percentage in 5 games against Edmonton over the course of Vladar's career. All right. Big thank you to Lisa and Jason here at Boston Pizza Clairview. If you're not doing anything for the game, come on down. We have some prizes we're going to be giving away, some great prize packs from Molson with some Oilers toques and some beer mugs. And then the grand prize is a couple of tickets to an upcoming Oilers game. And then, of course, there's some game day specials, holiday playlist, great menu that has been unveiled. And then coming up from the 18th to the 22nd, proceeds from pizza sales going to the Ben Stelter Foundation. Shout out to the Nasties who are already here at BP Clairview. You got this massive screen behind me, 170 inches. That thing is beautiful. So come on down, say hi. A bunch of people have said hi. I appreciate that very much. And we'll watch the Oilers game together. That's going to do it for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. For Matt Kassian and Benny Thomson, I'm Tom Gazzola saying enjoy the game. Coming up next, the final half hour of the Reid Wilkins Show right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Ciao for now.
The EST Hangout.
Beaumont does not have hotels. We've learned that.
Oh, that's right.
Beaumont does not have a hotel. The Morning Boys about a year ago discovered Beaumont does not have a single hotel.
Beaumont, come on in, but just for a while. Leave.
We want you to leave.
We want you to show up, but I want you out too.
You need to leave by 9.
Stay in Leduc.
That's right.
Full curfews.
The EST Hangout, presented by Sentinel Storage. Weekday mornings 9 to 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
What a ride it was. The Blue Jays have made our whole country proud. Sentinel Storage is honored to stand with Canada's team every step of the way. Thank you, Blue Jays. Sentinel Storage, official storage provider of the Toronto Blue Jays.
hockey is heating up, and so is the excitement on Play Alberta. With casino winners every hour, jackpots worth millions, and revenue that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up. Right now, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they make a minimum $50 deposit with code EST50. That's code EST50 for a $50 free bet. Start playing with your game sense today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, please use your game sense.
EST Afternoons.
Everybody online was like, whoa, they're benching Bouchard for that penalty. It's a culmination of everything he's done up to that point. Call it a ticky-tack call, fine. It wasn't just because of the penalty. It was everything that led up to that moment. Chris Knobloch finally said enough is enough. He took a penalty. They got scored on right when the penalty expired, and he said he's going to sit for the final 8. Like, stop thinking it was just about that penalty.
EST Afternoons, weekday afternoons 1 to 3, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Where holiday cheer meets great beer. This season, celebrate at the Canadian Brewhouse. From plated dinners and festive buffets to casual pub-style parties, we've got the perfect space for your crew. Book your holiday party today at thecanadianbrewhouse.com.
The oil stream.
But on Monday, he did lead by example.
How refreshing was that, man? He was shot out of a cannon. I thought McDavid, you saw it firsthand. He had a lot of good first rushes, and he was skating with the puck, and you're like, oh, I remember this guy. I know that he can do this. And then in the third period, you just kind of sit back and you're like, there's the cap.
The oil stream presented by Boston Pizza. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday afternoons at noon. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
All right, Reid Wilkins, Jay Milne back with you in the Canadian Brewhouse studio. Win big this football season at the Canadian Brewhouse. Score your shot at a trip to the Super Bowl, weekly prizes, and more. Plus $1 off Budweiser and Bud Light tankards. Details at thecanadianbrewhouse.com. Great job by Tom Gazzola, Matt Kassian, Ben Thomson on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Leading into the game that's going to start here in a few minutes, Oilers at Flyers, game 1 of a 7-game road trip for your Edmonton Oilers. We will keep you updated on that one. We have it going on the monitor right here on our desk. Duane Forde's going to join us here before we sign off at 6 o'clock. Of course, we will have the words of the day presented by the Edmonton Public Library. You know what I did during the 1-hour break besides listening to Tom's show? I went over to the new Wayne Sports Card.
Yes.
Wayne Sports Cards location, which is quite, just go down 170th. It's right by the Italian. So they moved. They're in the same kind of shopping complex, but they're in a different strip of it, I guess. So a larger location. It looks great in there. All the same great stuff. I got to talk to Wayne a little bit. Their grand opening is Saturday.
Oh, is it?
At that new location.
Oh,
yes.
good.
Yeah. Well, let's maybe get Wayne on before the end of the week.
Yeah, I mean, holiday season, this would be the time for sure. You did bring me a gift.
I did.
A pack of CFL hockey cards.
Yep. Well, CFL
sports football cards.
Yes.
That was nice. I pulled a Brandon Banks.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Congratulations.
That was about all I pulled, Reid, that I could recognize.
Well, yeah, I heard Drew Wolatarski's name when you were reading them out.
Correct.
No Elks. So I guess they were the Esks at the time, whichever. No Edmonton guys?
Nope.
How many were in there?
7 or 8.
And you didn't get an Edmonton player?
No, I did not.
The odds were that you would have.
No, I did not.
That's too bad. But yeah, that's a great spot. They got a bunch of comics in there. Some of the comics he has for sale, I have in my collection. Now, they have been graded, but it made me a little optimistic about the value of perhaps my collection as a whole. So we'll leave it at that.
I have a nice little collection too.
Of what?
Hockey cards.
Oh, yeah, of hockey cards.
Yeah.
What years do you have?
I have some, they're some of the junk years, like the early 90s.
Those are not great, yes.
But I do also have some boxes unopened.
Like the guy in this, was that in Regina? The guy had a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Sold the unopened boxes that might have had a Gretzky rookie card in them.
That's my goal, is that when I pass, somebody will find these boxes of Connor McDavid rookie year. And,
that's the year they're from.
Yeah.
Oh, so you could have a Connor McDavid rookie card.
I could have several.
And you don't even know.
Can I tell you a story?
Yes, you have to.
My when that came out, I was like, I'll go see what a box is worth. And I went to the place in Sherwood Park. It's a sports card place in Sherwood Park. He's like, yeah, no problem. If you buy more than 2, you get them for X amount instead of, and they were quite reasonable, I thought.
Right.
So I bought 5 boxes of these things. And it wasn't, it's not cheap, but it's not like crazy. But my wife came home and questioned a lot of my decisions. Now,
first time that's ever happened.
Yeah,
first and last time that's ever happened.
Yeah, right. No, but now it's good. Now it's fine. But what do you do with those things?
What do you
sell them?
Are we going to the Oil Country Towing Hotline here, Coop? We are going to go to the Oil Country Towing Hotline and bring in. Love talking to this guy from TSN, CFL analyst Duane Forde is checking in as we start to get hyped up for the Grey Cup on Sunday. Duane, how are you doing? It's Reid and Jay.
I'm good. How are things in lovely northern Alberta, gentlemen?
Well, generally good. In terms of Oilers fans, ask me again in about 2 hours and 47 minutes.
Yeah, you're talking to a Toronto Maple Leaf season ticket holder, so hold it down over there.
Yeah, what's wrong with the Leafs? They're what, 500?
Hey, how long have we got?
Well, we could go past 6 if you want. We can just keep going.
Yeah, it's been it's been a tough watch this year, I got to say, but I'll stick by my team though.
Okay, you're a good man. Hey, thanks for coming on. I mean, Jay and I love the CFL. We love Grey Cup week, so we're going to be doing stuff here, obviously today, tomorrow, and Friday. I if you don't mind flashing back to your career as a player, I know I'm just refreshing here. You won a couple of Grey Cups. I think you might have been in 2 or 3 others that didn't go your way. You'll correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. But I want to ask about that feeling of winning your division. Like I know you want to win the big game, and sometimes teams will say maybe we were too excited going into the Grey Cup or thought we'd accomplish something. But just how are players feeling from Sunday to now? Like, you got to allow yourself a sense of accomplishment before you refocus on the Grey Cup?
I think the celebration is brief because there's so much to do in terms of getting organized and getting to the Grey Cup city where, typically in sports in general, but football in particular, there's such a rhythm to your week of preparation. And Grey Cup week is just so unique where, these guys have played on Saturday and you think that the playoff games used to be on Sunday, so it was even crazier. But, a team like Montreal in particular, having played the East Final on the road, at least Saskatchewan was at home, but Montreal plays on the road, so they've got to get back and then turn around and travel again to be in Winnipeg on Tuesday, which is just so different from what your usual weekly routine is where, games are at the end of the week. You're maybe kind of traveling the day before the game and things like that. So, brief celebration and then kind of your head is spinning a little bit in terms of dealing with all the arrangements and excitement for sure for guys who haven't been through it before. And really even for guys who have, just because every year is a new, unique kind of feeling. And you've at least accomplished, I always think of it as a series of goals. Like in Calgary, where I played most of my career, we used to always say, first goal is to make the playoffs. Second goal is to get a home playoff game. Third goal is to get a bye. And then obviously, next step from there is to win that game and get to the Grey Cup. And yeah, we were fortunate to do it a number of times. Always exciting, as I say, but as you alluded to, though, there's one that stands out to me, which is the last one I played in 1999. And that year, we finished second in the division in the regular season. So we had to go on the road to BC to play the West Division final. And we were the defending Grey Cup champions. We had won the year before. But we're going into BC, and Grey Cup is in BC. So they're planning to be playing in that game in their stadium. And we went in and we won in BC, missing Kelvin Anderson, who was our starting running back at that time, one of our key guys, won the final without him. But I remember sitting in the dressing room as a veteran guy and thinking everybody was too excited to win that game. Everybody was too excited. Calgary at that time, we weren't a team that played our goal wasn't to just to get to the Grey Cup or to win the West. Our goal was to win Grey Cups. And I just remember kind of looking around and thinking, yeah, everybody seems a little bit too excited to win this game when this isn't the big one. And sure enough, we came out and we were a little flat in the Grey Cup the next week and ended up losing that game.
Yeah. Was that the one? Did Darren Flutie make like a one-handed touchdown catch in that game?
Yeah, Darren was a bit of a nightmare for us in that game. I think Shad Chris was a rookie halfback with us that year. And yeah, I suspect that Shad probably still has a few sleepless nights thinking about flutes.
What was I hope you don't mind me flashing back to your playing career because you got great stories. We do want to talk about this year's game. How many tickets would you get? Like, would players get an allotment if family, friends, spouses wanted to come, or how would that work for Grey Cup?
Yeah, they would provide us with two, I guess was the deal in those days. I assume it's the same. I would say most guys had family coming, but occasionally, you'd have typically guys from the States maybe that weren't using their tickets, that sometimes people would be trying to buy or trade to get extra tickets if you had more than two people coming. But yeah, there was usually a family section, and the team kind of looked after getting those distributed for you, etc.
Duane, I wanted to ask you, on to this week's game, the Grey Cup. I'm a former defensive guy, so I always say defense wins championships. And boy, we've got a defensive battle on our hand. Both defenses finished the regular season with a positive +8 turnover margin. They similar styles, but they're dominant defenses. What do you think is going to give a certain team the edge? And do you think one team has a defensive edge?
I don't see either team necessarily having a significant edge going into this game. As you said, like this is an area of strength for both of these teams. And obviously the offensive side of that, as you say, both teams with a positive turnover margin that, taking care of the football is going to be huge. For me, having been in the East for the playoffs, it's one of the things I said going into both those games is when you play against Montreal, you can't afford to make mistakes because your margin for error is so small, and particularly in terms of ball security, because, they're a team that's going to kind of make you pay. And obviously that's some of the way that it's played out. I look at that East final. A part of it from a Hamilton point of view wasn't even just the ball security piece, but in terms of making mistakes, you think about in the first half, they had that string of penalties that came on a key drive and kind of snuffed out a drive that maybe proved to be pretty important in that ball game. From a Saskatchewan point of view, as you say, a little bit different, right? People, I think, would look at a Noel Thorpe defense and say a lot of the things they do are a little bit unorthodox, more creative, etc. Corey Mace's defense in Saskatchewan, I would say, is a little bit more traditional, but obviously very effective. And they've got some guys that are just capable of coming up with big plays at key times. So, as I say, no real edge, but both these groups will be fun to watch.
TSN's Duane Forde joining us here on the Reid Wilkins Show. And look, at the end of the game, obviously the Grey Cup is going to be awarded, but there's another trophy handed out, the awarded to the Grey Cup's most valuable Canadian. Who are a couple of players that you think, you can keep an eye on or might go home with that trophy?
Yeah, and I think there are a number of guys for both of these teams. You so often talk about the importance of the quality and depth of a team's Canadian talent translating to success, and these two teams, to me, kind of epitomize that. From a Saskatchewan point of view, the group that jumps out right away, obviously, is their receivers, right? And the first guy that comes to mind is Sam Emilus, who has notoriously come up with big plays for this team over the course of the last few years. But obviously, Kean Schaefer-Baker, another guy who could have that day on Sunday. On the defensive side of the ball for them, AJ Allen has been a monster, a real breakout year for him, former U Sports star at the University of Guelph. has just been so productive from his will linebacker spot, whether it's been defending the run. He's also come up with a couple of picks in the passing game. And then the wild card to me is Tavon Campbell. One of the things I have said about Tavon this year is throughout his career, he's, as a defensive player, is a guy who has always had a nose for the end zone. And so just a guy who has the knack for coming up with that real sort of game-changing play in terms of the defense putting points on the board. From the Montreal side, I mentioned Sam Emilus, a Montreal guy, playing for Saskatchewan, but from that same draft class, I always love that 22 draft class of receivers. Another guy from that, obviously Tyson Philpott, who's already got a Grey Cup Most Outstanding Canadian award under his belt, but a key receiver, a real game breaker for the Alouettes, a guy certainly that they will look to. Obviously you cannot overlook their guys on defense. Isaac Adeyemi-Berglund up as Most Outstanding Canadian for the East. A second consecutive year for him having won that honor. So a difference maker for them, a guy they really lean on in terms of especially their pass rush. And Marc-Antoine Dequoy, much like Tavon Campbell, a guy who historically, maybe not as much this year, but historically has been something of a turnover machine from a defensive perspective, and a guy who can make a play that can really turn the tables.
All right, Duane, before we let you go, and the Oilers are about to start here in Philly, Duane's on the Oil Country Towing Hotline. I guess my final question as an observer would be, can the Alouettes realistically do this if Davis Alexander is below 100%?
I'm going to say yes, because they can get contributions from a lot of different people. The thing that stands out, and obviously it makes a huge difference, right? So much has been said about their record with Davis, without Davis, his style of play becoming really compromised depending on the state of that hamstring. But, also noting, and at a time where both teams had some absentees from their lineups, but bear in mind, McLeod Bethel Thomson is a guy who has started in the big game before and not that long ago as a Toronto Argonaut, but also a guy who beat the Saskatchewan Roughriders as a starting quarterback this year, obviously getting some help along the way, but a serviceable veteran backup for whom the stage isn't going to be too big, that, if they have to rely on their backup, he's a guy who gives you a chance. No, he's not Davis Alexander, but yeah, I think certainly either way there's a game, and if it's close, you hit the nail on the head when you say the defenses may be difference makers in this one.
Duane, we love having you. We love your perspective. We love your storytelling. Most people listening would say they do not love your Maple Leafs. But
I completely understand.
Hey, this was great, buddy. Enjoy the Grey Cup, and I hope we can talk again soon.
Thanks. Look forward to it, guys.
Duane Forde checking in on the Oil Country Towing Hotline. Love talking to him. Man, he's so good. Like he explains things so well. He's so easy to listen to. Obviously knows his stuff. Yeah, you and I are going to do our picks on Friday. So we both went 3 for 4. And actually all the playoff games were down to the final. Well, what, 3 of the 4 were decided in the final minute?
Yeah.
And then the Montreal Winnipeg one was a wild comeback, and then Montreal, and it was still a single digit game, right?
Yes.
It was still down to the end. So yeah, hopefully the Grey Cup lives up to that. But we both went 3 for 4, right? Because we both picked BC.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, we didn't get, because you were away Monday. Did you go back and watch the final drive
of the Saskatchewan BC game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where I told you what one of my buddies texted me that knows the CFL pretty well at the start of that drive. He's like, watch Benavides sit back passively.
Yeah. Prevent D.
Yeah.
Prevents you from winning.
Prevents you from winning.
Yeah. And look, that's honestly, Reid, I was quite happy to see that. So I'm like, good. It's not just the Elks that do that.
Well, I know you can't do blitz, but you can't just bring 3. Now, Betts was shaken up on that drive.
Yes.
So that hurt them, but Harris must have just been like, oh, this is nice.
Well, and an interesting
Flyers goalpost, minute 15 in.
Interesting, decision making down the end at the end of that game for BC.
Right.
They could have been a lot more aggressive too, and had they gotten that first down, that game's pretty much theirs. But you got to be aggressive.
Coop, do we have an update here, or are we keeping going? I should probably look.
We can do an update.
We'll do an update. Okay, we'll do a sports update and come back to wrap it up with words of the day. Oilers almost 2 minutes in, no score against the Flyers.
Changing 500.
Oops. The Oilers and Flyers are underway. Early in the first period, it's scoreless. Flyers up 1-0 in the shot category. And one other game's live in the NHL. The Rangers leading the Lightning 4-3 with 2 minutes left to go in the first period. After that, the Sabres and Mammoth duke it out, and the Blackhawks take on the Devils. Well, from New England, Kassian Booty and Ramondre Stevenson have been ruled out for tomorrow's game against the Jets. Booty with a hamstring injury, Stevenson with a toe issue. And there's 12 games on tap in basketball. 5 games live. It's the Bucks down by 12 points against the Hornets. 7 minutes left to go in the second. We also see the Magic and Knicks in action. Orlando up 34-28. Meanwhile, Bradley Beal of the Clippers is done for the season, set to undergo surgery to repair a fractured hip. And for the second straight year, Tariq Skubal of the Tigers has won the American League Cy Young Award as the best pitcher in the league. This sports update is brought to you by Paramount Flooring. Looking for quality flooring? Visit Paramount Flooring's spacious, family-friendly showroom, open 7 days a week. Save now on pet-friendly shock carpet with spill-proof technology. Call 780-483-1991 and mention EST for a 10% discount. The words of the day for the Edmonton Public Library. Up next, I'm Zachary Gubish, and you're up to date.
2 guys and a goalie.
Cass, am I right to raise an eyebrow what they decided to do in terms of maybe missing a potential practice day today?
I don't think we need to raise eyebrows. I mean, you tell me that schedule and I tell you rookie party. That's what I tell you. Number one, Dallas, a couple days, first time this season you've had like more than a day in between games and you got 3 of them.
2 guys and a goalie, presented by GS Construction. Tuesday and Thursday afternoons at noon, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc, we're the experts you need to know.
Weiss Johnson, whoa.
Hi, Dennis from Weiss Johnson here, and we're excited to be partnering up with the Nielsen Show and have a special deal exclusive for Nielsen Show listeners. Get 10% off any new Trane furnace, air conditioner, or heat pump installation from now until the end of October. Bundle a furnace with an AC or heat pump and get 25% off the package price. Get your home comfort now for all seasons with Weiss Johnson and Trane. Trane, it's hard to stop a train. Visit wjsportstalk.com today.
Summer was packed with memories.
Wait, let me get a picture.
Your garage doesn't have to be.
Wow, look at all this space.
Store your gear with Sentinel Storage and enjoy extra space all year. Try 4 weeks free. Visit sentinelstorage.ca.
Running your own small business takes courage, and as it grows, so does your team. That's why Alberta Blue Cross offers health, dental, life, disability, and wellness benefits designed for small businesses, because we know a healthy team means a thriving business. Join over 5,000 Alberta businesses who have chosen us to help their business grow and succeed. Alberta Blue Cross takes care of you and your employees, so you can take care of your business. Visit ab.bluecross.ca to find a plan that's right for you.
At Mind360, we invite you to embark on your mental health journey in a safe and comfortable space. Conveniently located in St. Albert, Mind360 has a diverse team of experienced clinicians that offer a broad range of tailored services for children, adults, and families. Furthermore, we are very proud to serve our military, veterans, and first responders. If you're looking for counseling, treatment, or assessment, understand that you are not alone. Contact Mind360 at mind360.ca to book an appointment today.
I've got something under my skin.
6 minutes into the first period, no score between the Oilers and the Flyers. After the game, GCL Diesel post-game show hosted by Tom Gazzola live from Boston Pizza, Clearview. It'll be fun to check that out. We're going to wrap things up here with our words of the day for Edmonton Public Library. They have their Cooking for a Cause program. The holiday season is coming up, so this is the perfect time to book a team building event or a family gathering. Cooking for a Cause is the perfect recipe for that. Go to the EPL website, epl.ca, to find out more. All right, baby.
Well, let's hang on. We got to do a limerick first. This comes in from box number. An EST host they call Reid had never voiced a bad read. One day for fun, he churned out a pun. I laughed so hard, I peed. Cheers.
Well, I'm glad I can provide relief.
The word of the day with Reid and Jay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
What do they got to say?
Say what again? Say what again? I dare you.
Let's find out.
English, do you speak it? Then you know what I'm saying.
First word of the day, doughty. Doughty.
Oh, how do you spell this? It's not like the hockey player. D-O-W-D-Y.
Why did you do that?
It is like the hockey player? D-O-U-G-H-T-Y? Really? I don't think that's how it's spelled. I think it sort of means like kind of frumpy. Like sort of... Yeah.
Do you want to use it in a sentence?
Sure. Maybe I don't know what it means.
The monument celebrates the doughty townspeople who fended off invaders centuries ago.
Well, that doesn't mean that at all. No. Courageous and stout?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, I don't know what I was doing.
Doughty is a word with an old-fashioned flair used to describe someone who is brave, strong, and determined.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, I was completely wrong. Okay, there is a word, D-O-W-D-Y.
Okay, there you go. Well, then I got to give you
a person or their clothes, unfashionable and without style in appearance.
Ooh, boy. We have a conundrum here. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. Because you got 0.5 out of 2, I'm gonna give you a bonus point. 1.5 out of 2 for actually spelling and proving that there is a word doughty.
Yes, and more or less knowing the definition.
And more or less knowing the definition. Yes. Congrats.
Colson has had 2 good scoring chances in this game. Has not scored.
Second word of the day, temerity. 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 Temerity.
T-E-M-E-R-I-T-Y. And I think it's like kind of like gall. I can't believe you had the temerity to do that. Can't believe you had the gall to do that. And no one's watching because the Oilers are playing.
Okay, temerity.
Huge. We got a huge pile up here on Goalie Skinner.
Hey, Chet. Temerity is the quality of being confident and unafraid of danger or punishment, especially in a way that seems rude or foolish. Temerity may also refer to a rash or reckless act.
Yeah.
Good job, Reid.
So I was in the ballpark for that.
Oh, yeah, you were there. 3.5 out of 4.
I did well. No score, Oilers and Flyers. Okay, we're back to the same schedule tomorrow because we got another Oilers game. Nielsen Show at 6. So I'm on the Nielsen Show at 7:45 tomorrow. That'll be fun. On behalf of the Coop and Jay, I'm Reid. Enjoy the rest of the Oilers game.